Hi and welcome back to Top Car Detailing. Well, we're back in the studio today with an Aston Martin DB9. This car was dropped off yesterday, basically for a major paint correction, detail and ceramic coating. Now, the car's not been washed at the minute, so it's absolutely throwing it down outside, bad weather, all that type of thing. So what I thought we'd do in the first instance is get the camera out and go around the car showing you guys how this car looks at the minute before we even wash it. Simple reason being, the car has been badly machine polished by somebody else, so the customer decided to bring it to me to do the correction work and fix all the issues on the paint. As I say, bit of expensive kit here, so this is another important thing too. If you're looking for the right person to do paint correction on your car, make sure they know what they're doing, because anybody these days can go and buy a machine, all the polishing things off eBay or wherever, starts up, but if you've not got the experience in that, then you're in a minefield, and especially with a car this expensive as well. So what I'm going to do now is we'll go around the car, we'll go round with the camera and I'll point some things out, show you the buffer trails and that type of thing. Then I'll be taking the car outside, washing it, decontaminating it, and then we'll get it back in here on the ramp a bit later, and then we'll get all the wheels off. So let's go and take a look at the moment and see how this is. Quite important as well, once we're doing work here in the studio, we've got all the right camera equipment and everything, so we're making a digital record of all the work we're doing on the vehicle, so I can show you guys exactly how this car looks before we start any work, midway through as we're doing the paint correction, that type of thing, and then afterwards the finished results, turning cars into mirrors here. So let's go over here now and we'll take a look at the bonnet on this car. Right guys, so as I've just been saying there on the camera, we've not washed this vehicle as yet, but I'm just going to show you some things here. As I say, really bad condition the paint's in, and this gives us the opportunity with the correct lighting in the studio to take a look at the car overall and the state the paintwork's in. Obviously we'll be coming back shortly once we wash the vehicle, take another look close up, and then we'll be doing some demonstrations, effectively getting rid of these swirl marks, scratches and holograms. As you can see with the correct lighting in the studio, we can just move the camera around here and take a look at all these nasty swirls and holograms. The buffer trails too, as you can see here, see how it's been badly polished, and especially around this area here, what a mess it's in. Some issues too here with the lights as well, we've got to have a look at a bit later on. Going down the side of the vehicle at the moment. Just going to show you how bad the paintwork is on the Aston Martin DB9 here. As you can see, we've got lots of swirl marks, scratches in the door on the right hand side here, and then when we pan the camera over here and we're looking at this, really bad buffer trails, that type of stuff that's going on in the paintwork. And that's what I'm saying before, very important that you get the right person to do the paint correction on your vehicle who knows exactly what they're doing. So I've got a right mess on my hands here now to tidy up and sort out. So what we'll be doing is going round the car, having a look at some other panels before we start on the paint correction. Now what I want you to have a look at here is when we move the light along, you can see these sort of zigzag lines that's going along there in the paint. Look at that, bad buffer trails all the way around on this particular car. What a mess it's in. So as you would have seen me just with a light here looking at some of the panels on this particular car. Hell of a mess it's in at the moment. So what we're going to do now is get set up and do some machine polishing. So what I'm going to do is this part of the panel first. This will then give us an idea of the right compound, the right pad. Machine speed is very crucial as well to get the ultimate in paint correction. Once we've got this sorted here, this will give me an idea then, and then I will then be able to select the correct polish, pads, etc. and right speed going along with the machine to alleviate these defects quite quickly. Right, so we're on day 2 at the minute on the paint correction side of things. So at the moment I've just been doing some machine polishing on this panel here. I've got some really bad scratches too in the paint. Same down this section. Looks like somebody's used sandpaper or Brilla pad basically. It looks that bad, some of the scratches in this. I'm going to concentrate on this area now, and then we'll be moving round the car. So we're going to do the top parts of the car first, and then we're going to lift it up and then do the lower parts later. This gives us ample opportunity to take a look at more panels and that type of thing as we're going around the vehicle doing the correction work. Right, so what you're going to see me doing now is doing some machine polishing on this section here. Just looking here, you can see how bad it is. Buffer trails going on everything basically. As you would have seen me doing a bit more machine polishing here on the right hand side of the bonnet. We're just taking a look now, and you can see we're getting more clarity in the paintwork. But when we move the camera across to the left, you can see all these holograms, swirl marks and really bad buffer trails here. And then to the right, more clarity. So as I say, you've got to have a special skill set to do this type of work. Obviously we're working with a car here that has been badly machine polished before, and the top coat of lacquer has been diminished quite a lot as well, so we've got to take all that into consideration too. So I'll crack on, you'll see me doing more machine polishing, and then once we've finished the bonnet we'll be taking another look at it here. So as you would have seen me there doing a bit of machine polishing on the centre section here. So now, as you remember before, the mess it was in, now we're moving to the right again, moving over here, getting more clarity, but still lots of issues to the left and that in the paintwork. Still on the first stage machine polishing on the bonnet here, but you can see we're getting more clarity there in the paintwork now. What an absolute mess this car was in the first place, but we're certainly turning that round. So what I've done, I've switched all the lighting round now, and I can concentrate on this area here. Got the right speed of the machine, the right compound, the right pad to cut through the defects quite quickly and get rid of them, cutting it back, and then we'll be using another pad as well afterwards to carry on doing some more cutting back of this lacquer to get more clarity and turning it into basically a mirror. So you'll see me carrying on round the car. I'll catch up with you shortly. So when we put the light on here and we're moving it along, you can see all these buffer trails and holograms that's going on there in the paintwork. So the car's taking shape now. Obviously we've got the first stage of paint correction out the way with on the full front end here, and I've also wet sanded and polished this headlight up. So I've still got to do the bumper down below yet. So we'll just go and take a look at the other headlight and see what this looks like. You can see on top it's got a lot of this hazing and scratches and that type of thing in here. So what I'm going to do now is do some bit of wet sanding on this to get rid of these high spots here, as you can see, and then once we've got rid of this, then we'll be polishing this headlight back up. As you can see, what I've done at the minute, this is the headlight that I've wet sanded, get rid of all them nasty marks in the top of the headlight there. Don't know what that was, some contamination or something, and some scratches, that type of thing. So I'll be polishing this up now and then restoring this back to better than brand new. also done as well on the Aston Martin V12 here, is cleaned all the engine bay up for the customer too. Well, the Aston Martin DB9 is now finished and complete here at Top Car Detailing, but what we had to use is quite a number of different pads and discs on these machines to sort the paint correction out. As you would have seen early on in the video how bad the paintwork was on this car, so I thought I'd jump on board and just explain a few bits and pieces what we had to do. 3000 grit wet and dry sanding discs, had to use that on the lacquer to cut it back due to the severity of defects, buffer trails and everything left by the previous person who detailed this car. So I sorted it out with that, cutting the lacquer back. Also, the other major point is, if you're going to have your car detailed, make sure the person who's doing it knows exactly what they're doing. What we've had to deal with this particular car as well is the diminished lacquer that's on top of the paintwork. And you can imagine, well, it's an expensive bit of kit, so you don't want to be giving a car like this to somebody who doesn't know what they're doing. Also, we had to use the rotary machine too. This spins on the spot and cuts quite quickly through the defects, so use that as well. Also, the LHR 15 machine for doing the refinishing and polishing mostly afterwards, after all the correction work. Also use the wool discs as well to cut back severe defects in the paintwork, deeper scratches and that type of thing, then reverting to the microfiber pad, and then in the end a waffle pad too, for getting rid of any light marring marks and that type of thing that's left in the paintwork. Now, I've just explained a few bits and pieces about some of the equipment we've used. What we'll do now is we'll go and take a pan round with the camera, have a look close up at this fantastic car and see how I turn this one round for one of our customers. We had all the wheels off the car as well, ceramic coated them front and back, and also the calipers too. Treated all the glass as well with a hydrophobic coating, so this repels everything, and this is quite unique here at Top Car Detailing what we have. Before, you couldn't see anything in the paintwork, lots of holograms, scratches, swirl marks, everything going on in the paint, but now looking like a complete mirror. As you would have seen in the video earlier on, how bad these lights were in the first place, and how we had to wet sand them, do some machine polishing and virtually to bring them back to life. As I said, this would cost a lot of money to buy these brand new, but as I say now, look in the business. Also as well, what I did, I polished all the chrome grill up here too and ceramic coated this as well. As I always do here at Top Car Detailing when we've done all the work on cars, is checking the depth of reflections in the paintwork. And as you would have seen before, couldn't see anything, but look at it now. Looks like a complete mirror. guys for watching that video on the Aston Martin DB9 here at Top Car Detailing. And as I say, we're always working on nice cars here, turning cars into mirrors, and that's what we do. And as you would have seen in the earlier pictures and that type of thing, what a mess that car was in, but we certainly turned that round for one of our customers. So if you're looking for the best of the best in paint correction, don't hesitate, give us a call. Check out my website at www.topcardetailing.co.uk. And yeah, I'm going to have to go now, but if you hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, you'll be notified once our next video goes live. And I'll be back soon with more nice cars. Catch you later.